Okay. One month. It's been 1 month. I took a month off. Let me say that again. I took a month where I reestablished, resituated, reconfigured my brain to allow for integration instead of completely run on empty all day long for infinity. Okay. The last video was no more swear words or swear words filter. I would rather sound like a genius. That was the last mental body. This mental body is I can. Overcoming tyranny of the twin flame stuff and nothing else. All right, it took me a month of nervartry, of platform 9 3/4, of dragon initiations. It took me a month to get the downloads to even begin this magic because it's the hardest. Let me say that again. I have never met anyone who has ever come close to mastering anything resembling twin flame. Twin flame is a curse. That's not romantic. It's like the horror show of reality. Kelly, when we were cleaning out the clipeth, she's God. She goes, I'm gonna do a romance karma prison or a romance prison. I'm gonna clean that out. Yeah, that's smart. So after tyranny, after we cleaned out the tyranny karma prison, which you'll do after you get your A&R marks levels, when you clear out the tyranny, the next one is Bina. That's romance karma. There is no such thing as a good relationship on this planet. Let me say that again. Nobody's mastered Lucifer. I can't handle the idea. Oh no, I can't handle the idea that I'm not in a perfect relationship and I only feel like I'm settling every single day. And I look at my partner like I want to murder them. Or I know who my twin flame is and they're married to somebody else and they're an alcoholic and a drug addict. But I'm still bound to them. It's so awful. The whole thing is a giant disease. It's a fishbowl of insanity. So, historically, saints and sages throughout the time have gone, no romance. 0. That is a delusion. Your romance is with God. And what that does to a romantic is break them. Just the idea of that goes, no, that's awful. No, I can't live like that. No sex, no romance, no nothing. That breaks my heart. That breaks my spirit and my soul. But that was their answer. It's like, so do you see why it's a tyranny prison? There is no good answer here. Ever. So how do you rise above that? The first is that females are usually more romantically susceptible. But as you enter Ravenclaw, you get off more on the idea of brilliance than staying in a cycle of psychosis or psychopath. So you want to get out. You want to get out of all the prisons. You want to enter liberation instead of cycling dramas that never are even close to decent in any kind of reality. So, do you see where we're stuck here? Now then you look at Lucifer and Dino Star. It's the white and the black dragon, the perfect yin and yang. And you go, but it could be. But it could be. All right, so there's a secret teaching here in Ravenclaw. So this is where the Four of Wands is, so marriage. But Ravenclaw also connects to Hokmah, where the Two of Cups is. Let me say that again. Where the Two of Cups. So where you can see eye to eye with your partner. Which is better than the Lovers card. Which is like, that's the double-edged sword card. Always still cycling through drama, heartache. Connects to Bina. So the Two of Cups is solid ground. And it's nice. It's like a nice partnership. And so that paired with the marriage card and the Four of Wands is really lovely. That sounds good. So we're going to try for that. We needed to do, I think we did the Hierophant recently. That was still about a month ago. So activating that path. Oh my God. That might be why you have a priest marry you in general. The Holy Sacrament. So we're doing this from the bottom of the clipet, so maybe it will manifest into something lovely. If you're in a decent relationship right now, it may make your relationship blossom into something better. And if you're not in a good one, it's gonna attract your real person and dissolve the lies or insincerity or anything that is falsehood or trap. Tyrannical prison. Anything that's a tyranny prison, we're getting over. This needs to be said. Historically, through the last decade, I have to channel my twin. So I have only been bound to the idea that it's like, be with your twin and your twin only. Everything else is gross. Even if your twin is gross. So that's a tyranny. And it makes people hate you. And like, then they can't even enjoy their current relationship when they have no twin, or it's just a giant insanity cycle. So we are trying to get rid of everything on one side of the spectrum and the other. So a good, nice, loving relationship where you can see eye to eye with the person and possibly be married at the same time. How lovely. Okay. Psycho. All right. So we're going to install our first level of mental body, the mental graft. And it's going to go, Lucifer is going black dragon. Okay. So Lucifer says, I'm allowed to be dark in my relationship. I'm allowed to make decisions that are heretical to get out of a tyranny imprisonment. I'm allowed to rebel against a social norm. Let's say you're gay and you're married to a heterosexual mate, and you have no way out. So that needs to be taken care of. So I can make a controversial decision that is a black sheep of society, to be honest with myself. So that's the first level of intelligence we're going to put on ourselves. And it goes around that metal graft and through the tail, and it poops out through the end of the tail like sludge. Now the next layer is like a black sheen of pearlescence and rainbow. So it's like rainbow sheen obsidian kind of energy. And it's that I can be with the person I love. So I'm allowed to be with the person I love. That has a trap. Don't worry. Many times the people we love are with somebody else, or they're an abusive alcoholic. So we're going to figure out, we're going to poop that through. We're going to figure out how to get through every single trap there is. So we can mentally and emotionally get over ourselves, but really stabilize our own mental and emotional independence, where we emotionally feel good about it. Instead of go, independence! Ah! I don't want to die alone. Now we're going to put on a pearl honeycomb goo. Over the next level of mental graft. It is the mental graft. This is the I can be a fool for love charm. So it bypasses the logic. That you have to hold a certain standard of logical analysis around your relationship. So that you're not penny pinching, that person did this to me, that person did this. Maybe you need a miracle to get over everything and make anything work. That's not desperate. That's actually intelligent. If you look at the planet, it's been raped to death, and we still exist here. And Mother Earth is willing to forgive those who are going to do the work to repair it. Like, they get to stick around. Those people. So Mother Earth has to be a fool. We can be a fool for love too. There's a certain level of forgiveness that is required in CHESED. It doesn't have to be unconditional forgiveness. That's just more tyranny. You can forgive yourself for not forgiving. So we need to get out of those psycho traps. The big thing about CHESED and Ravenclaw is getting out of psychopath. In Gabera, it's like, take care of the knife rapists, okay? In CHESED, it's like, counteract psychos. Be the opposite of a psychopath. Be smart. Develop such high level of common sense that it's beautiful, or grace. God-like simple. But not, not like simple at the expense of everything. Like, just whole. Now we're going to put on another mental graft. And then we're going to have that pearl charm. How do we say it? Emanate through the tail, poop through the tail. How do I say poop through the tail where it sounds like nice instead of low? I don't know. We'll figure that out. Excrete. Push. Yeah, push through the tail. Like, that works. So the next layer is a cyan honeycomb, light blue cyan honeycomb. It's pretty heavy. It's much thicker. This is a wholeness. A wholeness So you can start to feel whole within yourself. It burns through. Ick. When you feel whole within yourself, it helps. It helps. The idea of being independent is less painful, where you can handle it in life. You can face the fear of dying alone, and maybe you go, that. But if you're already emotionally whole, it doesn't hurt. It still hurts in the heart, but there's a level of patience or tolerance that now we're going to take the grafts and we're going to poke it through all the little honeycombs. Make sure it goes through the tail. It's going to create another level of metal graft. And this one, it's going to poke out for all the pearls. Pearls of light or goo floating around in the ethers. And it's look for the light instead of dwell in the hurt. So for me, it's look to my nieces or my dragons or mental education and brilliance or just making a good post for the day. And what you're going to find is one layer is not enough. So those pearls, it will branch out into more pearls. So the wires will grow for more, much like branches and leaves on a tree. So we'll branch out to more layers and find more pearls. And then poke out again. The metal will branch out for more pearls and seek and find more up and down, higher self and lower self. And then again, until maybe your own neural system starts to self-correct and you don't feel the whole anymore. And if you can do this from the bottom of the clippeth, then you may be set for life, where you're not constantly agonizing over a broken relationship or a mate that will never show up. The whole point is to get out of that prison. And very much so on an emotional level. So the metal branches out again. The metal rods pokes. And you might start to feel the waves of light going across your third eye. And you might start to feel okay. I've spent a fortune on healers, psychics, classes, ascended master classes. Babaji goes, that was not an ascended master class. And not one person ever showed me any of this. And this was my biggest issue. Not one. And they all said they were better than me in every single capacity. Now I'm hearing somebody say, an ascended master could manifest their mate. Okay. That person is operating from a theoretical sense of knowledge and entitlement that somehow, instead of the actual pragmatism, do you see any ascended masters ever on the planet and any that have manifested their mate? And have you even talked to Hathor and know what she goes through every day? No? Okay, then fuck off. Seriously. Do you see Baba G with his ascended master mate? That person did not pass Hode. Critical thinking skills, climbing the tree, are necessary times a billion. So that what that person did was just put everybody in another tyranny prison based off of a system of lies because they want to theorize and create a rule of dogma. So as you begin to fill in your aura with the pearls, where it looks for the higher light, now we're gonna connect all those dots where it makes cubed little graphs. We're gonna put pearly jelly on all those light pearls of light. Maybe it already had that. And then we're gonna put blue on that, blue gels on all those pearls. And then we're gonna put cyan gel on all the metal mesh. And burns through all the psychosis. Here is the truth. I made 50 cents an hour this year producing a planet ascension. There is no ascended master on this planet. I would not have been left in the clippeth alone. I would not have been starved to death on a beach. That is the truth. We are learning from scratch how to become an ascended master. You cannot have an honest relationship without truth. Let me say that again. So we definitely need it in our auras. All right, now we're gonna put another layer of like Hufflepuff level honeycomb goo. It's the standard TYRANT honeycomb. It's kind of upgraded. Humanity. We're filling our mental body with humanity. Anti-perfectionism in relationships. But where we aspire to an ideal. Many times in our relationships, we have to apologize for our own existence. So we're going to put a new layer on top of that. This is white honeycomb. Dino star magic. It's pearl. It's white. It's like light fury. I don't have to apologize for my existence. Now what that is I'm not a shady, creepy, fucking psycho lunatic. I'm a Kabbalah teacher with 50,000 hours of mental discipline training. I have a logic that is as tight as anything. I have a humanities background in dragons that sponsor me, and I'm on my way to getting full-on A&R marks. I should never apologize for my existence. I understand everything the planet needs to a T. I understand how to childcare without killing a kid. Oh my god. Or making it want to kill itself. My existence is fine. I should never, ever feel like I need to apologize for my existence because I get in the way of other people's ego. Or I get in the way of them paying a bill because they want to do it with corrupt money. Or in a corrupt industry. I should never apologize for my existence because my health gets in the way of them smoking their cigarette or drinking their beer. I should not apologize for my existence because my meditation practice gets in the way of their horror movie addiction. Ever. I should not apologize for my existence because my insane idealism towards green ecology, where don't cut down a tree, gets in the way of them building a resort. Ever. So I will never apologize for my existence or my understanding of divinity and magic and karma. Ever. Oh, I'm best friends with Lucifer, and then the most dogmatic person comes along and tries to tear me down. Even if Lucifer's like the most loving, gentle, intelligent creature in the spirit world, or one of them, I should never apologize. Lucifer does zero harm. They do a lot. Somehow I am rather inconvenient. Never. It is our job to be inconvenient and like it. I do no actual harm to anyone other than shatter their patterns and ego and bad behavior. My bad behavior is limited to buying a piece of candy. We create change in the world by being inconvenient and having self-esteem around it. It is our job to change everyone else instead of ourselves, because we changed ourselves a long time ago. And if our dragons really want us to change, believe me, they'll tell you. They'll tell you and they'll show you over and over again. You want to feed me your shade, and then you want me to be ashamed about it? God, no. I am never gonna digest that. Ever. From anyone. The spiritual teacher wants to send me knife rape in the astral planes. It's going online. Especially after months of emails and warnings and requests to stop that behavior with zero response. Those are insane people. Physically, categorically insane. To not respond. It looks like Michael Moore addressing Walmart. So we're going to porcupine out, and we're going to put another layer, and another layer, and another layer, however many layers we need. Of I will not apologize for myself or my existence. And then we're going to put lavender putty cream on the inside of each layer. Until we finally feel, and just go through the tail, that we are not apologizing for our existence. Ever. Now we're going to put in the wholeness and virtue juice on the inside. We'll pour through and maybe fill in the gaps. And we'll turn to a petri dish goo glue. From this space, you may feel more like a warrior than this princess sitting on a pedestal waiting for her knight in shining armor to appear. That's ultimately where we would like to get to. In the Navratri images, every single one of those women are no nonsense, and they're all warrior, even if they're more like a Ravenclaw style. We have to grow bigger than where the problem originated. When we grow to that level of big, we outgrow the problem. We outgrow the wound. And it doesn't control us anymore. The other component where we may feel tyrannized is that we have given our power away to that party or person instead of ourselves. And we apologized for our own existence at the same time, in the very same breath. That is bad. So then we're seeking for their approval and then constantly in a tyranny prison because we'll never get it. We'll never get their approval, ever. So it doesn't even matter if we become an ascended master, ever. Do you know how many crack addicts will never give approval to Jesus? It doesn't. Do you understand that a crack addict will never look at Jesus and go, yeah, that's the real stuff. You know what they do to Jesus? Shit on him all day long. Because they're crack addicts. They go, that God's not real. They reduce everything Jesus did, stood for, and trained in to nothing in 5 seconds. And then they like shoot up or snort up or smoke, whatever. Apologize for my existence. Let's clean that up. That was one of the messages in the Elohim book, or the Enochian book. Dare to be a feather of good, dear Narcissa. So that the main teaching was dare to be big. Dare to be bigger than the problem at hand. Instead of hiding. So a Ravenclaw is like a smarter version of Slytherin for the feminine side of the tree. So there's really like, there's no reason why anyone should be attracted to Netzach, because Ravenclaw is really where like the smart is. It's smarter up here. It's more attractive. It's the smarter choice. I am more whole. I'm not running around chasing a desperate romance like a Netzakian might. Ah, God. Always a chasing after another Netzakian. Whims of fairy tale. There's no divinity. There's no heart. There's just game. God. I am more whole. All right. Now we're going to do this bigger charm. And it looks like these blue opals. And it's like pearly blue opals. It's kind of a moonstone sheen to it. And what it is I can get big. I can get bigger, and then I can get even bigger. Expand my consciousness beyond the problem or problems at hand. I posted these charms in Hode, so they're real. They've been working. And it should go into your emotional body. And it's kind of a connection. It's a self-esteem connection to God. I know I'm small and I am nothing. I get it. But maybe my nothing can be bigger than the problems I face. I'm trying to think what else we have for tyranny. We're gonna put in hot pink paste for all the clean or hot pink juice. Clean out all the dogma surrounding masturbation or being alone, or sex toys. Or developing a clean tantra relationship. A clean one. Or a friends with benefits situation. If it's honest and like, if it's in Ravenclaw level, man, that's life. Cleaning out all that dogma with just pink paste, pink goo, pink sludge, hot pink juice. I don't want to make this video about the ability to manifest your mate. I want to make this video where it's like ability to handle the shit even after you do. So most people, when they manifest their mate, they're still broken. So it's awful. Because the problems that they had before their mate still exist after. So you gotta fix, like, the self instead. Like getting a job. Your inadequacies that you had before getting a job are the same inadequacies you have after the job. I can guarantee it. Maybe you're gonna have to learn things and develop. Now, we're gonna need 5 more layers of boundary. Different layers of honeycomb, and it's not letting other people feed you their excuses. Because that's all I'm hearing right now. And they're all just like low end. These people are pretending in their thought patterns that I wasn't just tortured for 9 months, and somehow they were still in the right for how they've treated me for the last decade. That somehow they're whole people that are masterful and accurate. So I'm gonna put these like filters on my brain that go 0 tolerance to that, and we're gonna soak it all in Veritaserum charm. I'm gonna rationalize. I was just trying to make you a whole person back then, at the same time where I knife raped you, or starved you to death, or took all your money and then ran. It's like a mother that beats her kid, and then the kid does one thing right, and then the mother goes, yeah, that's because I beat it into you. It's the same level of consciousness. It's psycho. These people are gross. And then we're going to fill it with anti-hypocrisy paste. Anti-hypocrisy blue paste. And we're going to make sure that all that stuff gets excreted through the tail. I'm starting to feel pretty whole. Actually, a lot more positive about just going out into the unknown in the now without this weird drama of like cause and effect, that if I don't ascribe to any specific scenario, I'm going to end up alone and my whole life is going to be ruined. That's a psycho picture where I would rather live in the now and take the action, the moment of the now, and conquer it. And feel like a hero in the present moment. Because that is where the love is, instead of the feeling of lack. So we're filling all those voids. And where we're not making ourselves into the enemy. That's the worst part of it. Where we feel love from the bottom of the clipper in ourselves. We kind of feel a sense of excitement or wonder or adventure moving forward. Instead of horror, and we don't want to get out of bed in the morning. My whole life is ruined. That's awful. What an awful way to live. That way we can think about all the things that we thought might have been impossible might actually be possible emotionally. We're going to pour the Cobra Acid Charm to kind of clean out any of our own leftover toxicity. I'm thinking of anything left over that anything still in our body that goes, I don't like myself. So we're going to fill in with these honeycomb goos, these like peachy pink honeycomb. That I like myself. And it's just flesh. Or like a peach. The flesh of a peach. It's like I know the difference between right and wrong. So I should definitely be allowed to love myself. I also know what it means to show up every day, every minute of every day, in my mind. I know what it's like to listen to dragons and obey. I know what it's like to be of selfless sacrifice. Selfish sacrifice. Sacrifice. Constantly. All right. The last thing we need is a filter. A hypocrisy filter on everyone else. Remember, when you're in CHESED, it's like 1,000,000,000 times the one-way mirror charm. Somebody wants to call you a snake, and you're like, where? Where am I a snake? And they go, don't you think that we see you changing? Like, okay, you just stabbed me 500 times, and you stole my money, and I'm like a homeless person. So how am I a snake? So it's a filter. We need to filter out their lies and their hypocrisy times 1,000,000,000. Because here's the thing about like people who don't pass HODE are not honest. So seriously, every single thing that they attack you with is not honest. So maybe it's just that knowledge. Or maybe we're going to put 500 layers of HODE around us. Oh my God. Yeah, that sounds good. "500 layers of honeycomb." That's just truth. Truth, truth, truth. So they have to eat it. Orange honeycomb, 500 layers. And then it spritz out orange juice into their face. I'm hearing, I think you're fake because we need to be able to do this in the physical world. That is accurate. So that is the truth. That is an accurate attack or an assessment. Do you understand the difference? You're allowed to criticize, condemn, and upgrade. You are not allowed to criticize, condemn, and then stab. There's a difference. One is a problem solver, and the other is a troll. Somebody's going, how do you not see that you're not a troll on Elijah Wood right now? I'm sorry, do you understand, yes or no, that I am forced to channel that man daily for the last 13 years? No, I don't understand that. Okay, well then it's none of your fucking business and you didn't pass HODE, bye-bye. So we need a filter on those. Filter on people who don't pass HODE. So they have the right to criticize, condemn, and label, but they don't even have any accurate knowledge or information. And then they want to shove their lies down my throat. Because they want to create their reality in their brain. And then rape me with it. So how many more layers of HODE do I need? Maybe 1,000? 1,000 might take care of those people. 1,000 layers of HODE. Or 1,500. And that's where that nonsense begins to dissolve. That's how low every person on the planet is. They need 1,000 or to 1,500 layers of HODE to even come close to accurate truth. Mind blown. So my job in Ravenclaw, or in CHESED, I have to seek for the truth of what the situation is at hand. It is my responsibility. It is not theirs. They're a demon. They're a demon muggle troll. Now I have to accommodate for their demon muggle troll. I have to find out how many layers it's going to take to get through to them. I do, because I'm the smart one. So then there needs to be layers of responsibility for me to get out of my own tyranny. How many layers of responsibility do I need? And probably 1,000. Because I'm still seeking for anybody, anyone, to have their own self-accountability to do the work themselves, and they don't. They don't. Kelly does. I'm pretty sure the women in this class will. So 1,500 layers of responsibility. That looks like red honeycomb gels. Now, I'm starting to feel good. Less like I'm going to be in a tyranny prison for the rest of my life. But I'm starting to feel like a big fish in a small pond, and I don't know if that is acceptable or not. So we need an Alice in Wonderland charm. I can upscale or downscale as necessary. I can shrink or expand as I need to. So it's delivering a sense of freedom. There's also a component in Alice in Wonderland where she is not tyrannized by the idea of a romance, but an adventure seeker instead. So much like Arya at the end of Game of Thrones, I do not need a boy. I much rather prefer an adventure. If we can get to a good space there, then you can have a good relationship. If you cannot get to a good space there, all of your relationships are going to suck and fail. Fail is the wrong word. Implode. I need to get to Rey, willing to slay Kylo, but also feel rewarded about it, without desperately seeking this idea that Kylo is ever going to be acceptable. So that's an issue. That's a very healthy twin flame archetype. Illustration. It's not a healthy twin flame archetype, but it's a healthy illustration of the problems. We all know. We all know. We need to get to a place where we're actually feeling it instead of masking. Faking it till we make it. Like, aww. Maybe the last gel we need to put in is the Petri dish goo with a charm going, I can heal my heart grid. Some people are like, I can heal my finances within myself. That they need that one too. Make sure it all poops out through the tail and the spikes of the tail, or bottom of the clipped head. So you start to feel more solid and whole. You might start to feel the dragon fire come in. Burn away anything left over. If you can do this from a waking space, then meditation's easy. Waking space from clippeth id. Yeah. All right. We're going to times it by 50. Going outward, upward. Don't forget the dragon fire charm. Down, back. $50 layers below. Yeah. Now we're going to put the Gryffindor lava with the hot pink paste, 50 layers, out, up, below. So it cleans out anything that is not of this level of intelligence or higher. Starting to feel like I can actually get over the tyranny of the twin flame stuff now. That's a good place, because before this video, we were not there yet. But in my third eye, it's starting to blossom with light. Now we're going to put 50 layers of the blue gels with the pearlescent honeycomb inlays. Out, up, down, and back. You may feel the heat coming in through the throat chakra. You're going to see new paths start to open up at your lower root. The earth doesn't look as scary when you look down. When you look down, you might see pearlescent honeycomb wafers, layers that you can walk on. Something positive to move forward towards. And maybe you start to see it turn to cyan fire beneath you. It's a very healthy place. And to any of my friends that I enslaved, or traumatized, or hurt because of the romance stuff over the last decade, I am sorry. But ditto. You guys did the same thing to me. So it's just a quid pro quo thing going on. All right, let's clean it up. Kali Ren out.